Today, I'll be talking about how the cost of the American dream comes along with trauma and Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman play and Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five novel. The main theme in Kurt Vonnegut's Slaughterhouse-Five is trauma, and the main theme in Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman is the American dream. However, they both appear in both of the readings. We've been looking at the American dream for the past week in our summer school course. It can be described in several different ways. Some of the words used would be success, opportunity, family, beliefs, and hard work. The American dream's most important ingredient, in my opinion, is opportunity. Both Biff and Happy in Death of a Salesman were given the opportunity to have the American dream growing up in America. They just took different paths from each other. The American dream is exampled many times in Arthur Miller's Death of a Salesman play. It appears in 3 of the 4 main characters in what we read. Biff, Happy, and Willie Loman all show their different opinions on the American dream. Willie believes that you should grow up, get a job, make money, find success, and that is how you'd be happy. Happy, his son, wants to be able to fill in his footsteps and finish what he started and become a successful businessman. Biff Loman has a very different opinion, and he wants to move out west, create his own American dream, and be the person he wants to be and be happy. Trauma is another topic we talked about in our class. It is a minor theme in Death of a Salesman, but still occurs several times. Biff and Happy Loman watch their father take his own life at the end of the play and have to deal with their father their whole life, forcing his own American dream on them, which may not be the right decision to make them happy. It ends up leading to a very difficult decision at the end, where Biff decides to leave his family behind and move out west, and Happy decides to fulfill his father's footsteps. Both of them have anger issues at the end and take it out on their father and mother. Willie Loman always has his set of expectations for the American dream. He always wanted his son Biff to live up to that and was always disappointed when he was never able to. A quote that he said was, "Biff Loman is lost. In the greatest country in the world, a young man with such personal attractiveness gets lost." This is Willie talking about how he thought there was no way that Biff could screw up being successful in America, and somehow he was able to do it and disappoint his own father. Another traumatizing factor was Biff walking on his father cheating on his wife with a younger woman. This adds on to when Biff was a teenager, and he was only 17 after the Ebbets Field game, and he had flunked math, and this was a very hard time for Biff growing up. Willie Loman was quoted as saying, "This time of year it was lilac and wisteria, and the peonies would come out, and the daffodils. What a fragrance in this room." It talks about how Willie is traumatized from letting his life and the American dream pass him by. He misses when his kids were young and times were simpler. Now everything stresses him out. I'll now be talking about trauma and the American dream in Slaughterhouse-Five. Trauma is another topic we discussed in class. Trauma is one of the main reasons that Slaughterhouse-Five actually exists. Its effect it has on Slaughterhouse-Five is clearly visible throughout the entire book. It starts when Billy Pilgrim was just a child. He's quoted saying, his father was going to throw Billy into the deep end, and Billy was going to damn well swim. This was when Billy never learned how to swim and was thrown in before he knew, and could have drowned. Luckily he survived, but that's when the trauma started in his life. The author of Slaughterhouse-Five, Kurt Vonnegut, suffered from trauma in his own life. This is shown with a deep understanding of war in his book, as he was a prisoner of war in his real life. Billy Pilgrim's character was traumatized at war for several reasons. 1, the war itself. 2, he's being threatened to be killed after the war by Paul Lazzaro. And 3, he watched his closest friend that he made during the war be killed by a firing squad right in front of him. Before Billy Pilgrim was sent to war, he simply wanted to fill out his own American dream, become an optometrist and live the normal life. However, the trauma that built up on him did not allow him to do that. When he came back, he was in a plane crash as an optometrist, leading to more trauma, but he was the only one to survive. His wife, adding on top of that, died on the way to the hospital due to carbon monoxide poisoning. Those are 2 very huge reasons that gave Billy his trauma in his life, and it just got worse as he got older. Death of a Salesman made me feel like it was a good idea to know what you want to do in life that will make you happy. For example, Biff is 34 when he finally realized that his father's American dream was not for him. I have the ability right now to choose what career I want that will make me happy, and right now I have the ability to put my best effort in to complete that and succeed. I like the fact that Biff was able to build up the courage to tell his father that he needed to go his own way, And it's important to show people that it's your life choices that make your life better, not other people's decisions. And that's why I was glad to see Biff make his own choice, unlike Happy, who is stuck following his father's footsteps and not making himself happy. What I also liked is that Arthur Miller was able to represent how Happy always wanted to please his father. Several times, Happy was quoted saying, "See, I'm losing weight, Pop. I'm losing weight. I'm getting married, Pop." He was always trying to show that he was changing his ways, and he never was able to until his father passed. And I really liked how Arthur Miller was able to show that both in the film and in the play itself, reading it. What I didn't like about the play is that I thought that Linda could have had a more impactful presence in it. She was there several times, her sons were protecting her, and every time she wanted to say something, she would always be cut off by Willie. And it showed that the anger he had, and after the affair, the distance that grew between them. So I thought that there could have been a lot more said by her, and it would have given a lot of depth into her character, whereas she's only talking to Willie a few times and never really has her own story. Interesting. Overall, Slaughterhouse-Five and Death of a Salesman demonstrate the American dream and trauma very well.